It's chat time with Chunk and Cucumber and your host, Dino.
Hello, everybody. Hi, friends.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Chat Time. I'm your host, Dino, as always. And with me, of course, on the other side, is Chunk. Chunk,
Hi.
that's you.
Everything looks real bright.
Everything does look really bright. That's okay. As you can see, we don't have Cucumber with us today, but we do have Casey Robin.
Hello.
Wee!
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, Casey's an artist and designer and a mermaid enthusiast, fairy enthusiast, pinup enthusiast, and lots of cool things. And we're very excited to have you here on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So glad to be here.
Ryan's here
Yeah.
around.
Focus too, Ryan, please.
Ryan, say hi.
Hi.
There you go. I don't know if you heard that, but he's
My
here.
face is out of focus.
Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, everybody. And Corey, how could you forget about chat time? I'm upset. Anyways, we're doing great.
Thank you.
Well, let's get started with what we always get started with.
Have to run, push the button.
I made Ryan run. But how do you feel? Yeah. Nailed it, Ryan. Nailed it. So we have the intro music for each thing, but for the longest time we would do our own, and we never realized that they could also hear us doing that while it was going on. And we found out way too late
no.
that there were many episodes with Cucumber, Chunk, and I just scatting it up behind the it was very embarrassing.
Yeah.
I saw a production of Into the Woods where they forgot to turn their mics off after they went off stage. So they'd finish their song, go backstage, and be like, well, I really flubbed that one. Where's my water? Oh, there's lipstick on it. We're like, we can hear you. We can all hear you.
At Pirates Dinner Adventure, we control our own microphone sometimes. Like we can turn it on and off as we need to, so that we can like turn on stage and be like, "Hey, be over there" or something like that. Like we can do stuff like that during a stunt show. But sometimes we don't realize that the tech doesn't turn our mic off right away when we step off stage, and so they'll like get off and like somebody like said like a really like loud swear word, really loud, and everybody heard it, and like
imagine echo like no.
and all we saw was our manager, who's one of the people in the cast, like look inside the brig and be like, what the? It was great. Anyways, but how do you feel? Oh, thanks, MJ Snowd, for the subscription.
I'm good.
Okay.
That's just Chuck. But how do you feel is how we describe how we're feeling using a category. And since I've been on a fairy kick lately, I figured, how do you feel based on what your fairy would be? So like what would your fairy look like? What kind of colors? Is it like a flowery, leafy? What kind of fairy would you be? Hey, Eric. Yeah. So I don't know who wants to get started.
I'm gonna need a minute.
You're gonna need a minute.
Okay.
Do you have an idea already?
No.
I think I'll go. I think I'm feeling like a foresty fairy, but like not like bright and colorful, but like more like a lot of like twigs and leaves. You know, like
mushrooms?
maybe for like a hat.
For a hat.
Just like a hat, and then
That's classic.
Yeah, but like he's kind of like dirty, like the pig pen of fairies, you know, like very very dirty and twiggy and stuff, and he's just kind of like rough and tumble, and he's got a lot of energy, but he's kind of like bumbling around, you know, and
Like a traveling cloak of like skeleton leaves or something like that.
Ooh, I like that.
As we're coming into the spookier season, but it's nice and dusty too.
See, you're the expert. This is why I like that a lot, actually.
And you can have a fairy bindle.
A fairy. Ooh, I like that.
Like made out of an acorn or something.
Ryan likes that one too. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with that. That sounds
I'm
great.
riffing on your fairy.
I love it.
Fleshing it out a little bit.
Ooh, I like him a lot.
I would say I'm feeling very flittery, very kind of sparkly and kind of a nervous, excited energy because there's so much change going on in my life right now. I just got engaged. I'm changing, I've just changed jobs. I'm going to be renting a house with my future husband, and so I'm just like So I'm not landing. I'm I'm fluttering, and I'm over, and it's probably kind of a pinky gold.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, yeah. Normally, I'm kind of a water fairy, and I'm very transmutable and very adaptable and
good.
kind of sparkly, but less like ha 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 ha. So it's nerve-sighted energy is my current vibe. So golds and sparklies, and probably just clothed in like light and maybe like bits of flowers in assorted colors.
I like that.
Yeah.
Light and fluttery. Very nice.
I wanna be a pastry fairy. I'll be like nice and round, like very very full and adorable.
Sounds
I'm gonna have like cupcakes on a belt, just for easy access, and a bag full of like pan dulce, and maybe like a little canteens for the different like types of milks so the non-dairy people can have milk.
How about churro pants?
Ooh, I like that.
They're
churro
warm and
pants.
sparkly.
They're just like really fancy corduroy pants. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really big will.
I like
And if you get hungry,
like
you just
that.
take a bite.
Yeah. You have to stay flexible so you can do that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I want to be super flexible. How's that chubby guy so flexible? Like, I don't know.
It's the motivation.
It's the motivation. Yeah.
Motivation.
You get a churro bite. So are you actually helping the baker bake goods, or are you just
I'm more
taking
of a
the-
distributor.
You distribute. Okay.
Yeah.
You're the-
Yeah, no, I don't want to do any of the work. I just
you're
want
like-
to eat.
The distributor
want.
that takes some off the top every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
I could see that.
I feel like that's just fair.
Yeah.
I don't bake a batch of cookies without taking one.
Yeah, you got to try them.
I have to.
It's part of your job.
Ryan, what about you?
Let's see. I'd say I'm a steampunky fairy.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, like got the leather cap on with the goggles on top, and like a steampunk like canister right between the wings.
Oh, very cool.
Very nice.
Like as I fly, it's
Are
just,
the
like,
wings mechanical?
partly?
Like a biomechanical
Yeah,
I like that.
fusion?
And the steampunk like thing gives you a little boost when you need it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
a
like
little,
that.
like
It's
a
like,
little
it's like
jetpack.
I
Yeah,
fly
that's
like a
even
moth,
better.
otherwise except with like little straight like bursts of steam.
Oh, and I was picturing butterfly wings on me.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, butterfly
Kind of
wings.
classic.
Okay.
Yeah. But I could see almost like a dragonfly set up on you,
Yeah.
like a Mobius
Yeah.
style
I like that.
or Miyazaki airship style.
Ooh, I like that.
Perfect.
Yes.
I just recently found out that my girlfriend has not seen the Miyazaki films, and so
Movie nights.
I know they're on
so many
HBO, so
Yeah.
we have HBO Max.
Oh, excellent.
We're gonna keep
My
watching.
fiance and I love Howl's Moving Castle,
Oh, it's
and so we hope to get a cat when we move into our place. And we're like, okay, if it's a little orange flame cat, we've got to name it Calcifer.
Calcifer,
Yeah, and then I
yes.
want to build it a cat bed that looks like Calcifer's little fireplace.
Oh my god,
Yes.
I love that.
So, we don't know yet which cat we'll take, but if the name fits, that's
Oh, yeah.
our goal. Our goal is just to live like Howl and Sophie.
just wandering around.
Yes, we want that room with the wildflowers. Where you can just go and hang out in Wildflower Meadow anytime you want.
That's amazing. I would love that. One day I'll have a house.
Yeah, I know. We're like hoping to rent at this
Yeah,
point.
but that's great.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited.
Yay! Well, you're here. You're here on the show. If you guys ever had any questions throughout the show, please remember that you can ask anything you want. Especially with somebody as cool as Casey here.
Do they know how we met?
They don't.
We're telling?
Please go ahead.
No, you go.
We met at Ghost Sound Alive. Casey came in with her friend and interacted with us at Ghost Sound Alive. Had a great time.
We were very into it. We were like getting in front of the kids for the games. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we can do this. We can totally beat you.
Move out of the way,
kids.
child.
Yeah, get out of my way.
It was,
Taller and bigger than you.
which is not usually what I say.
No, definitely not for Dina.
No, not for me.
With the kids.
With some of the kids.
If it
wasn't like 7th and 8th grade, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're my
Yeah,
height,
the
sometimes they're
first
a foot taller.
If it wasn't for the beard, he would just blend in.
Yeah, so we helped, rob a bank, and we helped with a
My bank.
jailbreak, your bank, and then to make it up for you, we brought you a note.
That's right.
Yes.
But yeah, so we had a great day, and then afterwards, after I had left Knott's and did my pirate show, we ran into each other at the Cauldron Bar afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, well, the illusion's lifted. Hi."
Oh,
He's not really a cowboy.
we
Whatever
found
you
some
are.
kind of time machine.
Yeah, and you guys were really cool that I didn't feel bad. I felt okay about like saying hello.
Oh no, we were fans
Yeah.
of your work.
Yeah,
we
and-
had a great time.
but I otherwise I would have I probably probably wouldn't have gone up to you to say hello, because I was like, these ladies seem really nice and cool. So
and
I feel like
theater dorks ourselves. I
can
think
tell.
we give off that energy of like, you can improv with us. It's okay.
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and so we became friends that way. And then I asked you to be on the show.
I'm delighted to be here.
Like Casey, what do you do? Who are you? What sort of pastry are you craving right now? And what's the best jelly?
Oh, good questions.
Yeah.
All of them equally important.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm Casey Robin. That's actually my first and middle name, but it's the art name I go by because that's what my grandma called me.
And so when you
I
get
love
married,
that.
you can still be Casey
Yeah,
Robin.
exactly. When I get married, I can still be Casey Robin. And when I went to get my website, someone else had my first and last name website already.
Oh,
So, but
it worked
Casey
out.
Robin works for me. I am an illustrator and designer, and I work in animation, but I also get around. So I work in illustration, books, toys, sometimes fashion.
Wow.
Like I've done textile design for pinup girl clothing. That was super fun. I've done illustrations for storybooks. I've done a ton of work on Disney Princess books. I did a period as an associate at Disney Feature where I co-directed a short, and that was really fun. That was right around the time they were making Tangled.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, so I got to be in the room, and I wasn't on the team, but I was like part of the discussion. It was fun.
Oh man.
And there's actually one joke in the movie that's in there because I liked it.
Really?
Yeah, they were gonna take it out, but
Oh,
it was,
do you know which joke it is?
Yeah, well, it's a little visual gag. It's when you've got like Flynn and Maximus, and they're fighting, and Rapunzel's trying to keep them in line, but they're just like kids in the back seat, And there's one bit where like I think it was the chameleon looks back and like, hey, behave, but Flynn has Maximus in a headlock, and he's like gonna punch him. He's gonna, like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, horse. And I had like laughed at that story sketch because it's so absurd to be like, I'm gonna punch a horse in the face.
Yeah.
And I was talking with my friend at the cereal bar at Disney how much I liked that silly joke, and the guy down the bar is like, I can't get away from it. Even when I get away from it, I can't get away from it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, nah, it's fine. I'm animating that right now. And I couldn't get it to work with the punching thing. So I just had him like pulling his ear. And I'm like, oh, I really like the punching thing. I think that's funnier. And then he's like, and he went off. And then later that day, he walked by me in the hall and he's like, I put it back in. So that was great.
That is a good bit. I do like that.
And Glenn Keane was really nice to me when I was there. And he's like
good.
my hero because I love Little Mermaid, but that was great. So then I went on to do a lot of illustration for, some indie books, some like Disney books, some things like SpongeBob and Paw Patrol and stuff. And I've also worked on design for animation. I'm currently working as a Viz Dev artist on an animated feature with Jerica Cleland, who I love. She worked at Pixar for many years and then went to work on Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea. Oh, me too. And Song of the Sea even more. Like that is one of my favorite things that exists. And also Wolfwalkers, which is really good. It was hard to see, like hard to get a hold of it, but I really liked it. And so we're working on a feature together, which has been delightful. We are just so vibing. And then we're also working on an AR game together.
Oh, an AR game.
Yeah, and on that I will be art directing for the first time a part of that. So that's very exciting. I'm stepping into a new role.
And even another hat that you can
And that's
put
why
on.
I feel fluttery because I'm like, oh, I've never done this before.
may I ask a question of the thing that you're working
Sure,
on?
yeah.
Is it like similar style, like visual style as the Secret of Kells and Wolfwalkers and stuff?
It has its own identity.
Is there-
It
okay.
definitely is sophisticated in the way that those are sophisticated, but it's certainly got its own style.
Okay,
So
cool.
anyway, I do a lot of different stuff. and I also there's a doll company that's reached out to me to work with them. I'm very excited for that.
A doll company?
Yeah, again, I'm not allowed to say anything on that.
don't
but
worry.
They're wonderful people, and I am very
Can we spend the next 20 minutes guessing?
No, I'm pretty sure my contract probably has a clause.
It's Stretch Armstrong.
forbidding
Don't let the
puppets-
puppet guess.
Don't let the puppets guess. That's in there.
Yep.
It's just
It's a common
standard
thing.
boilerplate.
We love to guess.
Yeah.
And I was considered a puppet for this case.
Yes.
I just really hope it's Stretch Armstrong.
And then I
don't
also
know
just paint my own stuff for
Yeah.
fun. I do fairies and mermaids and pinups just because I can.
Yes, which you can find right there.
Yes,
over
Instagram.
there. Casey
There you
Robin.
go. I'm a little quiet for posting right now because I'm in the middle of moving and doing all
no.
this stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the subscription, Boba Laveau.
Oh, thank you.
Boba Laveau. That's a great
Boba
name.
Laveau.
It's a great name. What?
Oh, wait, I didn't answer your pastry question.
Oh, that's right. Pastry. Thank you for remembering. I forgot.
Croissant.
Ooh, croissant.
Just a
like
warm
warm butter croissant.
butter croissant, just nicely done. Best jelly is strawberry.
Ooh, now do you like the strawberry like jam or like strawberry preserves?
Oh, I like with the chunks of strawberry
Me
in
too.
it. Yeah, I don't
agree.
like the like. And maybe I shouldn't say jelly because I like the kind that has the fruit in it.
Yeah.
That has little seeds and stuff.
Yeah, the preserves.
Yeah.
There's a company that makes like the little mason jar looking ones.
Bonnie Maman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like them. It was very
Of
good.
course you-
I had some of that this morning, but it was a different flavor. It was red fruits.
Red fruits.
Yes.
Ooh, I haven't had that
all
one.
kinds of red fruits.
Ooh,
Maybe
that
some that
sounds
were
good.
originally blue and they dyed them red. I don't know.
Oh
Does
man,
that qualify?
I think maybe.
Sure.
I don't know. Actually, Erin, who is in the chat, I think, is my neighbor and friend, and she made us a fall strawberry jam, and it's so good, Erin. Thank you. It's like a spiced strawberry.
Oh, that
Ooh,
sounds
it's
nice.
really good.
I was wondering, like, how is it fall? Are they just old?
Yeah.
Like, is it like, they're just really out of season.
Last year.
Like, I bought these in June.
Yeah.
They've been sitting in my
Sorry.
fridge.
Thank God, no.
I assumed it probably wasn't that, but that was the only thing I could think of.
That's I honestly I probably would have eaten it anyway if it tasted this good. So what got you into this world of illustration and animation and everything?
Goodness, growing up in the 90s, I was the perfect age for every Disney Renaissance movie as it came out. So they kind of grew with me. And then I had a renaissance of dorkiness in my early teens where I had gone through the 12, 13-year-old, I am too cool for Disney. I want to see Mulan, but I'm going to take my little sister and pretend like, oh, I can't believe I have to babysit and see this stupid baby movie for babies. And then I'm just like,
Baby movies for babies.
yeah, but I love musicals. My dad was a musical theater guy, and I love art, and I love whimsy, and whimsy. And Little Mermaid really struck a chord with me. I was 5. That is my first memory of seeing a movie in the theater.
Wow.
Specifically, the key change at Part of Your World, where she does the backflip like that.
Oh yeah.
Ready to stand, that. And then when I was like 14, I was at Borders, and I saw a book on the
Borders.
shelf. Oh, I worked there for many years.
Oh,
I was
wow.
the head of the children's department there for a while.
What?
It was my first job. It was a great job.
Oh man.
Until it, Borders as a company kind of lost their soul and vision and fell apart. And
no.
it wasn't about the books anymore,
And
man.
business.
Yeah.
And
it was
business,
like
yeah.
they started calling books merch, and I'm just like, no, that doesn't feel
Oh,
right.
gosh.
I used to love the Borders that was near my house. Used to have a top section where it was just seats and a big round.
Yes, that was
You
the thing.
just
They
said-
took out they took out the seats.
Yeah.
They wanted you to buy something or get out, and I'm like, you're missing the point.
I'm like, I
yeah.
get your business, and I get you want to sell stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it was a happy medium where I would go
Yeah.
buy stuff.
You buy stuff because you enjoyed hanging
'Cause I
out
like being there, yeah.
Yeah, because you felt like they got you.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go back because you could be in the cushy chairs and then you'd buy
And
stuff.
capitalism.
But like capitalism was shooting itself in the foot there.
Yeah, because they lost.
They lost. Yeah, they're gone. I miss them. Anyway, I saw a book at Borders. It was called The Art of Animation from Mickey Mouse to Hercules. And it had this whole section on Hercules, which at the time had not been released yet.
Oh.
So I was like 14. That was the next Disney movie. I think I had heard whispers of it, but I hadn't really been following it. And I'd never seen production art before. I'd never seen concept art or character sketches. I just kind of assumed that the characters looked however they looked, and they drew them once, and there they are.
Yeah.
I'd never thought about it.
Yeah,
So I saw
that's a lot of
that,
work.
and I went like, this exists? This is a job? I was particularly taken by the stylized designs incorporating Greek base art and wave patterns and stuff, the way Meg was made out of columns and urns, and I loved it. And so I watched Hercules about 100 times. I wrote so many essays about Meg and then hid them in my binder and never showed them to anyone. And I did a lot of fan art. And then I just like, okay, I want to work for Disney. And so I started studying. I'm like, how do you work for Disney? And they're like, get really, really good at drawing because 2D Disney animation is here to stay and drawing is the key.
Somebody lied to you.
Yeah. So I did what would have worked in the 80s and the 90s if you're trying to get into Disney. And then I had to kind of pivot. So, go digital and work more in pre-production, but I really like pre-production.
Good.
I started in storyboards, but I missed doing pretty pictures because I was trained in illustration and I love color and light and texture. And so now and more in the biz dev realm, but still with a huge emphasis on story. And I write as well. So I'm working on a middle grade novel trilogy of my own that I have sights on doing it as an animated feature someday.
Ooh, this was the mythology one they were talking about? Like, can you talk about a little bit about it? Or
I mean, I guess I can. Yeah, sure. So it's I came up with this idea in like 2010. So this is pre-Frozen, lots of stuff. But the idea is to retell the myth of Medusa from Medusa's point of view, with her as the protagonist and the goddess who curses her as the antagonist. So the idea is she is already afraid of snakes. She already works in stone. She's an artist. She's a sculptress. She doesn't think she's pretty. She doesn't look people in the eye, and all of these elements of her self-loathing become the components for the curse, which is specifically to punish her very uniquely and forces her to then work through that stuff and become the hero that ultimately defeats the big bad and saves everyone.
That's great. Yeah, I love that. I like those twists that have been some of them have been pretty popular lately.
Yeah, I feel like it is it's very wicked, but it's very much my own take on the what if you simply look from a different point of view. What would it be like to be a young girl and to suddenly be so scary to yourself and others and not be able to be with humans? And so, she runs away and finds community with monsters and finds that they're, quite nice. And I know that's an archetype that's been done a lot, but I think there's a lot of truth in that of not, judging based on looks. It's a very simple message, but it's for one that we need to learn again and again. Yeah. And this is so much about self-loathing because when she is human, she looks fine. She looks normal. She's got freckles and curly hair and is kind of like, on the chubbier side, but she's quite cute. And no one, except for the goddess of beauty and her cult of beauty, which is Aphrodite, who I've cast as the villain, no one is saying you're ugly except them. Because to them, beauty is only Aphrodite, and only what she says is pretty is allowed to be pretty. So that's a thing I've been working on for a long time. It's had to take a back seat to making a living. But I think that, its time is coming. And also I know at some point Sony had something in production with Medusa. I know nothing about that. I kept myself, because it came after mine, but before I'd gotten it out. Because I'm just one person. Yeah. So it's definitely been living in the back of my mind and heart for so long. And I actually have the manuscript for book 1 written. But I need to rework the art because as I wrote it, it aged up a little bit. It went from 8 to 12 to like 10 to 14. It got a little dark. And there's some moments of violence and peril and monster stuff that's really scary. And I didn't want to sugarcoat it. So So I'm just going to make it look a little bit older.
That's good. I mean, I'm sure that that story will read even with the younger people too, but it's no, it's not anything that a younger child couldn't approach, but I think the themes of self-harm and self-loathing became a little bit more a little bit older. Because I, as a teenager, was definitely very, very hard on myself. Yeah, I understand. And caused a lot of my own pain. So this kind of comes out of what I've learned from that. That's excellent.
And it's fun too. I mean, you have like really amazing mythological creatures, a big sense of awe, and the Pantheon comes in interesting, really different ways that I haven't seen the Pantheon used before. So anyway, I could talk about it forever, but I won't. I gotta get it out into the world. My poor sweet agent Ben, if you happen to see this, I'm so sorry. It's been so long. He's just been waiting and waiting for me to finish it out.
He's in there right now. Look at him.
I'm sorry. I love you, Ben. And it's been one thing after another. It's like, now I'm getting married. But my fiance agrees that this is important, so we're going to make space for it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And it's very clearly a work of passion.
Absolutely,
and so it's something that it's hard to let sit there while you're doing other things.
Yeah, it's definitely like she's like, am I important too? I'm like, yes, you're important too. Sorry.
So you made your way through school and you learned how to do these things. What was the first job you had that was like, ooh, I'm a professional artist now?
Oh gosh, yeah, that came pretty early actually. I was 14 years old when I illustrated my first book.
Wow.
Yeah, and they paid me like a professional illustrator. I think I got $4,000 for it, which to me at 14 in the 90s,
might as well be a million.
Yeah, basically I was like, 4,000. I was only gonna ask for like 100. And it was, to be fair, it was like 75 pages of pen and ink spot illustrations. It was for Zondervan's Young Women of Faith girls' prayer journal, and it was trying to make prayer cool, which it can be, don't get me wrong, but whenever a corporation tries to make learning or religion or whatever like cool with the kids, it
feels
often very
pedantic.
cringy.
Yeah.
It's very much like, hello, how do you do, fellow kids? You know? So that my mom,
I am a child person
yeah,
too.
so my mom had written the prompts, to think of things for girls to reflect on, and they were having a hard time finding an artist, and they wanted something that looked like what a 14-year-old girl might draw in her notebook, and it turns out that I was that girl. So she without telling them I was her daughter, she's like, I'm faxing you over some art from an artist I know. Just tell me what you think.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And that money, I used that to go to Europe for the first time. The day
Whoa.
after I graduated high school, I left for a tour of England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. It was great.
Wow.
What a trip.
So fun.
That's
and I've loved
awesome.
travel ever since.
Oh, good. I need
Wait,
to
you
travel.
you held on to the money for 4 years?
Well, I actually used it to help my parents out during part of my my high school. We had a tumultuous period, and then they paid me back, and then I was like, well, I know what I want to do with this. I want to go on this trip. Yeah, my family always pulls together.
That's
you
excellent.
have hard times, but you just take care of each other. You take turns carrying each other, and they
yeah.
were there for me when I needed it, and so
That's
love
excellent.
you, Mom and Dad.
Oh.
And they've always been so supportive, so loving, and we're goofballs, all of us.
That's good. It's nice. It's nice to be on the same page with people
Totally.
that you live with like that
Absolutely.
because it's important.
It is.
But so that was your first paid gig.
Yeah, my first paid real.
Was
gig.
that when you knew that you wanted to keep doing this like professionally, or was it? Did you ever have? Because I mean, as a 14-year-old, I know I was like, I want to do this, and then 15, I want to do
mean-
this.
Book illustration was never the end goal.
Sure.
It was more of a, hey, I could do this also along the way and make money. And that has actually been important to my career. There are times where I'm like, I need money. And I call up, someone I know at Disney Publishing, like, do you have anything for me? And they get me something that, pays $10,000 or whatever, something nice,
Yeah.
And it's lovely. I
need one of those friends.
Yeah, I love working with the Disney characters, and they put me with Cinderella a lot. And I think that's super fun because I grew up watching that a lot. Moana, though, has so much line mileage. Like, you get paid the same regardless of if it's a simple character or a character who's got a million strands of hair and a million shells and a million cutouts that was designed for 3D. That's so much more intricate.
Oh, I bet.
But no, I don't think at that point, I don't think that job was like, oh, I want to keep doing this forever. I'm trying to think if there was a job that was like, honestly, this work with Jerrica is the first time where I'm like, I am living into my gifts. I am coming into my own. I am strong and I love this.
Yes.
I'm good at it. And it's good for me as a human. Because even when I was doing stuff with Disney, it was always very fraught. It was like the best of times and the worst of times.
Oh,
It was so much
no.
drama. And I was like, is my heart going to explode? Because I care so much, probably too much.
No
And,
such thing.
Yeah, but this in this project, mostly in the film, I feel like I'm doing what I'm made to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really cool moment.
Have you ever gone down a path like in your career that you were going down and then got there and you were like, nope, absolutely not?
Absolutely,
Make
yes.
it.
So I started in storyboarding, not so much because I wanted to do storyboards, but because I liked writing and I liked characters and I liked acting and storytelling and cinematography, and so I
Yeah.
liked all the components. But then I went to Disney Feature as a story associate, and I realized that the day-to-day work of the story artist was not conducive to how I think of story. It was very group oriented. It was very much a lot of people talking over each other in the story room, which to some people is very energizing. To me, it kind of shut down the still small voice in my head, which was where stories came from for me. And then also, I love beautiful images, and I was making very rough sketches, which are beautiful in their own way, but I miss being able to work with color. I love color. I love light. And so I wanted to steer more towards viz dev, and I took a detour through illustration and print work just to stay employed. So now I kind of like both, but I prefer writing when I'm doing story. I think the work of the storyboard is not for me at this stage of my life, at least. But I got there because I'm like, oh, this is, and it was also just, what would they take me for?
Yeah.
What I just wanted to get into Disney. So anything that they wanted me to do, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then I did, and it was just like, it's not quite clicking. But
But it's
Viz
good to
was.
try something.
Oh yeah, and
then figure it
I
out
love
'cause-
having the skill set. And then if I needed to pitch something, I could go ahead and
You could do
and
it.
board through the episode to be like, here you go. It's a great skill set.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
good to
day to
have.
day, I like to have a little more time to sit with things. And having, like with VizDev, you get your assignments and you got like a week or so to work on it. Then you show it to your art director. They give you notes and then you go back and do it all over again. And that's a little
That
more my
seems nice.
cadence. I like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I love to talk, but I'm a bit of an introvert. It's like a covert introvert.
Yeah. Oh God, I had a thought and it's gone. What was the weirdest project you had to work on?
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, yeah. I had one freelance illustration project that was for a toy, or I think it was for a game, and I had to put extreme faces on various food products. So there's one point, it was like the people doing it were like, annoying orange is popular, annoying orange is trending.
Oh.
Therefore, we are going to just milk that in ways that I think are really not wise. So at one point I was putting a great big face on ground beef.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, this is wrong. This is wrong on so many levels. No one's gonna like this.
Oh my gosh.
It used to have a face.
Yeah.
And then it didn't
now
have a
it's got
face. And then it's got a face again.
And it looks like it's an existential pain. And I don't want to think about that with my ground beef.
I don't want to think about that.
I just want to cook it and in my mouth.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I love that. That is an emotion that I think any artist performing or fine, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Have that moment in their lives where like, why? Why am I doing
Yeah,
this?
why? It's like, money, but like, why though?
But why though?
Yeah. I mean, you could do a lot of things for money.
I'll take the money.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
just gonna be a little
I did
uncomfortable
my
about it.
job, and
Yeah.
they looked the way the client wanted, but I'm just like, this is never gonna fly.
Yeah. It's one of the things like, this isn't going in my portfolio.
And
Yeah. 90% of stuff I do for money doesn't go in my portfolio. Well, maybe that's too much. When I was younger, now it's more. I'm coming into a new season where I am doing work that I'm proud of. But a lot of it was just like, I did like the line art for a game called Toilet Trouble.
That sounds fun.
Which is exactly what you think it is. And sure, it's, I guess, goofy and it did the job, but it's not really my sensibilities.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I very much understand.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I agree. Between Chunk, Cucumber, and myself, we all have digestive issues.
We weren't made for this earth.
Oh, poor dear. It's okay.
So that was the weirdest thing. And what was the?
I wouldn't say it's the weirdest thing I've done as an artist.
Oh really?
There was a season where I
weird.
was really into My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, which I still love. And I convinced my mom that we should go to Seattle as the Apple family, and I would be Applejack and she could be Granny Smith and my dad could be Big Macintosh, and we would go apples, apples. And we at one point we were dancing for money. People were throwing bits at us while we were like kicking up our hooves to a fiddle, like a
my God.
like a mandolin pony. We're like, "Yee-haw," the hat and stuff. And I'm just like, this is where I was having great fun. But for a moment, I looked at it as if an outsider just walked into the room, and I'm like, this looks weird.
The out of body experience.
Like, oh, we're the weird people today.
Oh, and we asked the guy at the hotel, we're like, oh, we bet you have a lot of conventions come through. Oh, we do. What's the weirdest one that you've ever seen? And he's like, and that would be this one.
And this one
Just pointed at you.
Yeah. And there's a moment, I have a photograph of my mom in cosplay as Granny Smith feeding Applejack cereal to an Applejack furry. It's on my phone. So things like that happen in your life. See, I said my family was supportive.
It's good. That's amazing. That's really great.
She had fun.
I don't think my family would do anything like that.
She did
with
her
me.
own panel at Equestria LA and got 400 people coming to it. It was called Ask Granny Smith.
Whoa.
Ask her for advice, and she'd stay in character.
Oh my God.
Well, I've noticed every pony wants to have friends, and the best way to have a friend is to be a friend.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Wow.
cute.
She's great.
Oh, I love that. Oh man, I love that your parents cosplayed with
My
you.
dad did it once, and he was like, "I'm out."
That sounds
weird.
about right. Yeah. That
And my
sounds
sister
about
is like,
right.
"Never speak to me of this pony thing. You cannot convince me it's not a fetish."
I mean, for some people.
Yeah, for me, it was not. It
yes.
was just I liked the show. It was fun. I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed dressing up.
It's
Yeah.
a wide fandom.
It
Covers
is.
a lot of bases.
Yes. Many
Yes.
people come to it for many different reasons.
And that's it good, right?
And
Yes.
no yucking
And
yummies.
you know, they were really nice. I mean, I feel like the fandom was very accepting, very embracing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were so many spontaneous sing-alongs. It was great.
Be weird. It's fun.
Yeah. And
I
they
love
were
that.
all songs that were gone down an octave because they're being sung by men. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, of
But
course.
they were originally bouncy, upbeat songs about cupcakes and stuff.
I love that there's just spontaneous. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That there were spontaneous sing-alongs at a My Little Pony
And we
convention.
did a thing called cider season where we'd sell Apple Family cider, but only for select seasons. And people would put down $100 and buy 30 ciders for the next 30 people in line. They did that multiple times.
Whoa.
It was really sweet.
Oh man! So how many times did you go to these conventions?
Oh gosh, for years.
Really?
Until
Oh,
they
that's
kind of petered
amazing.
out. You know?
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Were they up in Northern California with?
Oh,
you?
they were all over. LA,
gosh.
Seattle, all over. And Bronies bought most of the furniture in my house. Thank you, Bronies.
We just like go to IKEA with them.
I mean,
I want that one.
not directly,
Not
but I took
directly.
the money that I got from the convention.
Oh,
I
I
like
I
the
need some
idea.
brownies to fill my house.
I like
I want
the
to say
idea
it in
that
the
they
most
brought
funny
you.
way possible.
I just really want to see like a guy dressed up like a brony that just bring you a coffee table.
brought you
Here you go,
furniture.
gift.
Here you go, Applejack. It's a bookcase.
Oh, I love that so much. What was the job that you've worked where you were like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, this is so cool. I can't
Dang,
believe
it's right now.
Right now, yeah?
I am in a stage of my career where
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is what I trained for. This is
Yeah.
what I sacrificed for. This is what I worked for. Jerica Cleland, if you ever see this, thank you. Mwah, you're making
Thank
all my
you.
dreams come true. I can't believe I get to, make movies and make characters and have a say in this story and work with someone who's vibrant and wonderful and brings together all these great artists and respects me and trusts me, and it's not just this one. There have been multiple projects like this coming at me in this season. There's something about this season where I'm just like, I can't believe I get to do this. And I'm not allowed to talk about any of them in detail, but it's all the things little Casey would have wanted,
Yeah.
the books and the dolls and the movies and the animation and all of it. It's
Well, if you want to come back after it's all out and you can talk about it,
once
please
the
do.
NDA is out, we'll do a follow up. Yeah, it's
We'll
gonna
have
be
to
a
have
while,
it.
but yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Come back anytime. Oh gosh.
In fact, I'm working on a game that we should play because it could be a tabletop thing, but I'm not allowed to talk about it till it's out.
Yes, please. Yes,
When
if
it's
that's
out,
the
maybe
case.
we can play, and it's things that I think your viewers would really enjoy. Very big properties. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
well, yeah. Yes, bring it anytime. You mentioned designing characters. I saw that some of your credits are as character designer. What is that like to create a character from nothing?
Oh, it's a process, I start by talking with the person who wants me to do the character. So in one job was to help Goldie Hawn design some animated characters. And so that was a moment where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm, zooming with Goldie Hawn. And she is as nice as you would hope. And she's so passionate and full of ideas. And she had this very clear idea of her characters. And so I listened to her and asked her questions, clarifying questions. Who's your audience? What's the medium? What's the budget? Because that will all play into how you design it. And then what are these characters like? What are their, how do they play off of each other? It's like casting a play. And then I'll make reference boards with lots and lots of inspiration for myself, some based on things that they send and some just that I pull. And then I put it all into my brain and kind of let it filter through. It's a very subconscious process for me.
Okay.
I'll put it in, the night before I'm going to draw and then wake up and be like, I got it, and then I just iterate. So I start simple with either loose sketches, maybe even by hand in my sketchbook sometimes, depending on the person that I'm working with, or very quick digital studies, silhouettes, that kind of thing. Iterate, give them options, lay out a smorgasbord of options for them. And then once they start to gravitate towards certain ones, then you hone it in and explore and do different variations on that one. Like, okay, you like the really tall one? Great. How tall can we go before it breaks, before it's Slender Man and scary?
Oh, yeah.
What if we did tall, but with like a big fluff on top, or a big cloak, and you just kind of play with it. And it's all about laying out options for the person who is trusting you, maybe it's the director or the person who's commissioned you, to help them because they may not be able to draw. Sometimes they can, and they just are in a different role. But like with Goldie's case, she's like, well, I can't jump in and draw these, but I know who they are, and she'd do the voices and stuff. It's very fun. It's very collaborative.
Yeah. That's a really interesting process that is to go through. I've always been curious. I have a friend of mine who dabbles in character design too, and just the idea that you can bring an idea to be this full character drawn, and it's a real person that is,
and then when you see it animated, it's so cool. I worked for Noggin, which is Nick Jr.'s interactive learning platform, and I worked on a show called On the Job, and they would just be like, we need a garbage man, and I'd be like, all right, the garbage man, cool, okay. And all they said is like, we wanted to be Caucasian and strong and bald, and I'm like, I've got a friend who used to be a pro wrestler, and he's a total sweetheart, but he looks very tough, and he's bald, and so I just made it look like my friend Nick. So Nick Gregory, hello. I made you a garbage man.
I made you a garbage man.
Don't take that any wrong way. And then it was so cool to see him come to life and then get voiced and get animated. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's Nick, but he's a cartoon garbage man.
That's so funny. Did it sound anything like Nick?
No, I was hoping they would. I was trying to push them towards an Australian accent. But they're like, no, he's going to be like New York Vince. Okay. And I tried to get them to go with the name Gregory because Nick's last name is Gregory, but they went with Vince. Yeah, I get it.
That's a solid name.
Yeah, I get it. They wanted something tough.
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting to know you, you do have 2 truths and a lie for us today.
I do.
So let's get to one of these is BS.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew that was gonna come in handy.
Ready?
So yes, I'll have you say all 3 and keep a poker face. And
I'm so bad
and
at
then good luck. And then we will guess which one is the lie, and the chat will as well.
Yes,
Well,
be a
How about I grin awkwardly the
in
whole
the
time?
chat.
There will be a poll in the chat. What?
I'll just grin awkwardly the whole time.
Perfect.
Just for all 3.
I
So,
will love it.
equal amounts of awkwardness.
Equal amounts of
That's all right.
awkwardness. That's my life. All right, take it away.
Okay. So I was once cast as a palm tree.
Oh.
I used to pose nude as an art model.
Oh, okay.
And for a brief period in my childhood, I had a pet deer.
Pet deer. Cast as a palm tree, pose nude, and a pet deer. I believe the model part because you are an artist, and I feel like learning that you kind of would be exposed to that more. But also, that's a good reason for that to be the lie because it's very believable.
You're supposed to, yeah, you put a little bit of truth
Oh
in.
man.
Thoughts?
Palm tree, model,
Pet deer.
pet deer.
Pet deer.
Pet deer.
I don't know why I believe the pet deer so much.
Well, okay, can we ask questions?
Sure.
I'm assuming this is like a deer that where like you didn't actually keep in your house, but like maybe you made friends with that lived in your backyard.
Yeah, recuperating
Yeah.
kind of thing. Caring for. This was in Shasta, up in the mountains. My grandma lived up in the mountains, and so we had, wild cats and all kinds of nature around us. And sometimes one would attack the other, and we'd try to help. Until we could get it to the proper authorities, of course.
Was the palm
I tried
tree?
to get a lot of kittens adopted. There was a dog named Ditto. I'd go around finding kittens with him, and he was very gentle. And we'd carry them back to mom, and I'd be like, "Can I have this one?" She's like, "No." "Can I have this one?" "How about that one?" "I've got a box full of these, Mom."
Oh man.
I feel like palm tree feels like something a kid would do like in a play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, very believable. But I'm gonna guess that one's the lie because that one feels so like normal and like like a thing that would happen.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. It is a very child play sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was in my fair share of plays as a kid. I was once in Oompa Loompa when I was 3. That was fun.
All right. I think I'm gonna say the palm tree is a lie.
Is that your answer?
That's
too?
my answer too.
Okay. What do you think?
I was
Ryan, what do you think? Which one's? Oh, you're putting the
Which
poll
one?
in?
Do you want the poll?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, poll is live. Okay, so there's a poll in the chat. We're gonna give them a second to.
Oh, yeah.
There it
Take
is.
your
Give them a second. Go ahead and vote. Pet deer used to pose. and Cass is a palm tree. Naked.
That's the day I was born.
Nekkid. Naked.
Yes.
It wouldn't allow me to put nude in.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
I guess you could say art model. People
Art
know what
model.
that means,
Yeah.
right?
I was
It's
an art
not
model.
sorted. It's just, it's people think it's maybe a little uncomfortable.
Oh yes, I mean I can understand,
Yeah. I mean,
especially I can only imagine how many people would be in a room that you're
yeah,
modeling
yeah,
for and
yeah.
be like, all right.
If
I'm
you've
just
ever
gonna
been to
stay
life
here.
drawing, it's a bunch of people and one of them's naked and the
It's uncomfortable for everybody, so they're
but
always like,
it
okay, we'll do it.
But it's a very academic setting,
Yeah.
and it gets more normal the more you do
I think
it.
it's a little weird because it usually happens when you're in college, so you're like you're
Yeah.
just kind of out in the world. And you're like, oh, there's
it's
a naked
oh,
person
there,
in front
there
of me.
you go. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's draw.
I had a lot of friends that did that in college for money on the side and everything. And they let's see.
Oh, it's a
good.
tie.
It's a tie
Oh,
right
a
now.
tie.
With imposing and pet deer.
Oh my, this is interesting.
There's no. Did we close the poll already?
Is it closed?
Yeah, it was
Oh, do we do it?
Oh, I
what
see,
do
I
we
see.
do in the case of a tie? Coin flip?
Oh well. Let's start with one of the truths. We'll just
Okay.
break it down. Yeah.
One of the truths.
Which one is the truth?
I did play a hula dancing palm tree in
Oh,
my school's production of Mele Kalikimaka.
What?
Mele Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
I love that. Oh my
And
god.
I had
The
a
dancing
hat
palm tree.
made out of paper that my teacher had cut out big palm fronds and like little coconut side thing, and I just like hulaed across the stage. And I was wearing this big shapeless. I think my mom's, the 90s, they had those big shapeless like turtlenecks and brown leggings.
That's awesome.
My finest hour.
Finest hour. I love that so much. The only version of Mele Kalikimaka I know well is the Real Big Fish version, which is a ska version.
Oh, that's great.
Of
Oh,
course.
I love ska.
Me too.
I love specifically No Doubt.
Ooh, yes,
Yes,
of course.
I wore my copy of Tragic Kingdom just to death. I just destroyed it by listening to it over and over.
Perfect. I still go to ska shows, and I still
That's so
listen
fun.
to ska.
Half the money he makes, he spends on ska stuff.
I mean,
Listen, I just bought a vinyl actually.
so fun. I would say Gwen Stefani is a go-to at karaoke. It's
Oh,
Gwen
yes.
Stefani, Lisa Loeb, and musical theater.
Oh, perfect. Of course. I love that. I have enough musical theater friends that when we go to karaoke, it's not weird that we do musical theater because
yeah.
most of us in the bar are musical theater
No,
people.
that's why I love living in this town. I'm not weird here. I mean, I am, but I fit in.
You're weird with everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's
we're all weird.
Okay, so you were a hula dancing palm tree. What's the other truth?
I used to be an art model.
Okay, good.
So I was plus size for my high school and college. I had this sudden onset of weight gain when I hit puberty. It was very much hormonal based. It was almost regardless of what I did.
wow.
And it was very jarring to me because it was like, whoa, why am I cursed? I felt at the time, that's how it felt. And I was
Sure.
very hard on myself. And then in my 20s, similarly, it left just as mysteriously as it had come. And I lost all this weight, and people were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I was never doing anything. I'm doing normal. Everyone assumed. And I had a hard time seeing myself the way that I was and accepting myself as any kind of beautiful. And so part of my healing process was getting naked in front of a room full of people that I knew. I mean, it wasn't my classmates. I was working at a gallery, and I needed the money. I desperately needed the money. $10 an hour for 3 hours work was that was the week's money.
You're just hanging out like this.
Yeah, it's actually harder than you think because I tried to give dynamic poses and then I'd be like, ha! Oh, I've made a huge mistake. You gotta hold it for 20 minutes.
Yep, now everything's
So you gotta
engaged.
just,
I
I'm just
can't
gonna
move.
put this pillow here. And
Yeah, it was like, and sometimes it was just like,
That's so funny.
And so I was doing things like cleaning the studio, organizing supplies, making flyers for shows, working shows. And then she was like, oh, my art model, quick. And I'm like, I need more money. Can I do it? Can I do it, please?
Please.
Yeah. So it was the combination of me radically accepting myself and also needing the money.
Yeah, that's cool. Did it help to
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh,
when I would
good.
see pictures, I'm like, hey, it looks pretty good. That's not so bad.
All right,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
there are drawings of my butt out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Somewhere in the studio. Some file of, pile of
somebody's
things.
art portfolios. What is this?
Yeah, this one's really nice.
So you didn't have a pet deer.
I really want one. I really, really do. I mean, Audrey Hepburn had a pet deer. Why can't I have one? And I have this theory about her deer that it was like actually her little sister, and they both used to be deer. And Audrey was able to adapt and transform into human. That's why she looks so different.
Oh,
but
sure.
her sister was too afraid to, and so she's like, "Don't worry, I'll keep you."
Oh,
That's my headcanon.
I like that. That'd make a good movie.
Yeah.
It's like Shadow
oh my
of the Vampire.
gosh, I know
but
the
like,
movie I need to make next.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
About
love
Audrey
Audrey
Hepburn
Hepburn so much. She doesn't feel quite mortal. You know, she's got that otherworldly quality. And then also, I went to Nara Deer Park in Japan, where the deer bow to you because they learned that they'll get treats if they do that. But then if you buy them treats, they swarm you, and they are like biting and butting, and I'm just like, it's not like in Snow White.
They're definitely like the pigeons of the forest.
Yeah, they are very much.
pigeons
And
of
so
the
I have
forest.
this beautiful idealized fantasy version of what deer are, and they're not as soft as I thought. I thought they'd be all velvety, and they're kind of like goats.
Oh, yeah, that makes
and
sense.
so I even have a doll line I'd love to do one day that's like deer based, and it's very much me trying to repair the fantasy image of deer that I had in my head before I actually pet a deer, and the reality came crashing down on me.
Isn't that adult life? You have all these fantasies in your head, and then you see the real version of it.
Never
and you're like,
meet your
oh,
heroes.
Never meet your heroes, except if they're cool people, because sometimes
Oh
they're
yeah,
cool
actually
people.
they are. Yeah, Mike Mignola, wonderful. You know, Doug Jones, love him.
Yeah.
He pinched my cheeks.
Oh no, Doug Jones.
Yeah. One of the first things I did in LA was I went to an event where Doug Jones was speaking, and he was showing us how he came up with his weird walks and stuff, and he did this whole thing, and he shared some of his personal testimony, like how he's a Christian and how that plays into playing monsters, how those two things actually are weirdly not antithetical. And that was very interesting. So I really enjoyed hearing about his craft. And then he stayed to talk to everyone in the room, and anyone who wanted a hug got a hug, and anyone who wanted a picture got a picture. And so I got a hug and a picture, and at the last minute he went "Ding." And I was like, oh Dougie, I love you, I love your work.
Oh, Dougie.
I'm so in love with Abe Sapien. It just, oh my goodness, he reads Tennyson,
Yeah.
especially in Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, which is by far the best Hellboy movie. I will fight you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's very, very
And
good.
Doug finally got to do his own voice.
He got to do his own
Yes.
voice. Yes. And like when they had dubbed him over with David Hyde Pierce in Hellboy 1, David Hyde Pierce was like, I was just doing what Doug did. It was very much a case of studio executives being like,
Oh, yeah.
he's not a bankable name. And I'm like,
But we'll get him.
But yeah, he's doing great.
He did great.
I love him.
Now
Shape
he's
of
on Star
Water.
Trek, and he's great.
Yeah, and he was Pan in Pan's Labyrinth, and this guy.
And that guy, yeah. I love Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
So much.
I have such a hard time rewatching it though because it's so emotionally fraught, and I have such a hard time with torture scenes. And there's just
Oh my
one.
God.
I know. I
The
can't.
leg scene. I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
It's just the stutterer. I can't. I feel
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad for him, and I can't go there. And so whenever I want to rewatch Pan's Labyrinth, but I don't have the emotional bandwidth, I just rewatch Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, because it's basically if Pan's Labyrinth was fun and not sad.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I think now's a good time to introduce you to our resident expert of all things, Dr. Know-It-All.
Right.
Yeah. Dr. Know-It-All is our wonderful multi-headed expert of all things.
Of all
here
things.
to answer your questions. Anything you want, any advice you have, put some questions in the chat.
Is he some sort of eldritch horror?
No. Well,
Multi-headed knowledge of all things?
maybe. I guess that
Okay,
could be.
okay.
It's
I'm just going to
it's
picture him as Lovecraft.
Genesis. Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna. You might regret that in a second because his heads today look like Chunk, Casey, and myself. Here to answer any question that you might have. Dr. Know-It-All will answer one question, one word at a time, one head at a time, until an answer has been given. Dr. Know-It-All will include some of the question into the answer so we know what we're talking about, and then bow at the end to let you know the answer has been given. So in the chat, hurry up, get some questions out there. Y'all been quiet today. Get in there. But Ryan will moderate for us.
I will.
And answer the
you,
questions. Any questions about Dr. Know-It-All? Did you understand? I figured as much. Okay.
Oh, I get it.
Well,
Oh,
good.
this is a good question for Dr. Know-It-All.
Ooh,
Lovely.
yes.
All right. So from X Trek, Dr. Know-It-All, what should I do if a bear steals my picnic basket?
If
A,
Bear,
steals
your,
picnic,
basket,
you,
should,
find,
A,
bomb,
and
and
disarm,
Said
Bomb.
fill
the
Bomb.
with,
jelly.
And
throw
It
at
the
bear.
I like that.
now you know.
Now you know. Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know. We also have from Happy CU 1234, Dr. Know-It-All. Is this a boil or a pimple?
That
Is
Certainly
a
interesting.
development.
on
Your
Face.
it
is
Probably
not
a
fungus.
but
a
Pimple.
should
you
Need.
it
removed
Please.
call
a
Professional.
doctor.
or gummy bear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Or gummy bear. Well, good morning, Wiggly Worm. Thank you for waking up and joining us at the end.
We got one from TKH, Dr. Know-It-All. How to escape an escape room.
To
Escape
A. And
escape
room
you
need
to
find,
the
key.
but
when
You
discover,
the
key
be
careful
because
aliens.
might
eat
Your
It's a common problem with escape rooms.
Yeah, all escape rooms.
That's
have
why they make you
aliens,
sign the papers.
Oh,
Yeah, like, oh, nope,
absolutely.
alien might show up. Sorry about that.
John PR.
John PR, Dr. Know-It-All. What should I do if the parachute doesn't open?
If
The
Parachute.
doesn't,
open
You
should
prepare
to
fall
to
your
doom.
I
No,
mean,
you can't fix that.
it's acceptance, right?
Yeah.
so, yeah. Just
It's important to being healthy.
Just go quietly and calmly.
try to take a nap on the way down. I don't know.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Yeah, all right. From
You
Screaming
ask the hard
Dragon.
questions, you get the hard answers. All right.
Eternal serenity.
Oh,
I have a great sense of humor, you guys.
I love it. No, no,
great.
please.
It's great.
Something people don't know about me is I'm very much a horror buff. I mean, my art's very friendly and cute, but I love horror. I love the original Wicker Man.
Ooh, I
Love
never
love.
saw it.
So good.
Really?
Very different from
Okay.
just fundamentally different and so in every way. It's
Okay.
you could watch it.
Okay, watch
Christopher
it.
Lee.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh.
I never got to see it.
He's so
I'll watch it. Okay, good. Oh,
All right,
more.
Screaming Dragon
What?
asks, is a hot dog a sandwich?
A
hot dog.
Is
Not.
a
sandwich.
You
fool. Okay, but pause.
Oh.
It is a
No,
sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
What
a
is
hot
it?
dog.
It's a hot dog.
It's its own category.
It's its own category?
It is a
Yes.
hot dog.
Wait, so then what is the Subway sub that they cut in half and you have an open
But Subway isn't real food to begin with. Look at their
But the
tuna.
Subway sandwich is still the same.
Subway's the
It's- but it's a
standard. Their bread
sandwich.
isn't bread.
Yeah, we don't call it a hot dog
Yeah.
sandwich.
Not Subway, submarine
Oh,
sandwich.
submarine.
Submarine sandwich,
That's
sorry.
Subway. Okay.
Well, he said Subway, but yeah.
You know, I'm gonna say I don't have enough experience in that realm to make a judgment on that one.
So
Yeah,
we
I
had a
don't have
debate on
enough
this.
knowledge to form an opinion, but I'm still gonna have a strong opinion about this thing.
Yes,
That's the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
this
my
is
right.
America.
I was gonna
That's
say
what
it's
we
my right
do.
as an American.
To have
We have strong
uninformed.
opinions about things we don't quite understand
That is
yet.
our right.
But really, I looked up the definition of a sandwich, and it's a piece, like two pieces of bread or one piece of bread that's been cut and opened with something in the inside of it, which
Yes.
is a hot dog. And everyone's
Yeah.
like, well, that's like a taco. Like,
See,
no, a taco
exceptions,
is flat
hot dog.
and folded like that.
But it
you know?
doesn't have to be.
Yes.
It's like just because it looks like a sandwich doesn't mean it have to be. It is a sandwich.
No, but it literally is a solid bun that was cut in the middle and opened.
Yeah, if you want to get technical about it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go with the cultural,
All right, I want you to go next time you're out. Go ask for a hot dog sandwich.
I will.
See what
yeah,
happens.
people are gonna laugh at you.
Oh, I don't care. People laugh at me all the time. I get paid for people to laugh at me.
It's like saying, do you have any online internet?
Yeah.
People
Sometimes
laugh.
the internet's not working.
Hot dog is an entity unto itself.
Okay, I will concede that.
And I really have no way to back that up.
All we know is that Dino is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm usually wrong. I have accepted that. All right, next question.
All right, from Gameface 009.
We'll say oh, never mind.
Huh?
Good, never mind.
2 more?
2 more, yes.
Yeah. All right. How do I stop Chuck Norris from taking my sandwich?
It
Is
Impossible.
to
stop
Chuck
Norris
from
taking
your
sandwich.
so
when
You,
see
Chuck
Norris,
give
him
a
piece
of
your
sandwich
because
you
will
find
that
he
will
love
it
when
you
give
him
a
piece
of
your
sandwich.
and
hot dog.
If you haven't noticed
Because it's
already,
different than sandwich.
it's different than sandwich. If you haven't noticed, Chunk likes to keep the answer going as long as possible.
I appreciate that. It gives us a chance to find the interesting
yeah,
answer.
just gonna go around in a circle
You don't
and
want
then
a
you
pat
hone in.
answer, yeah.
Iterations. We talked about it earlier.
Iterate.
Creative process.
And our final question
Final
today from Happy CU 1234. My parents insist on sending me to school every day. What are they hiding?
Your
Parents,
Don't.
no,
that
Everything
you
do
is
wonderful,
and
beautiful.
but
they
Cannot
find
out
your
motives
for
experiencing. Sorry.
the
transcendent
Transcendent nature.
of
vampirism.
So
when
You
decide
to
suck,
blood.
you
should,
Do
lots
of
calisthenics
because
it
is
wonderful
for
your
heart.
that was it.
I don't believe we answered the question.
I mean, none of that was wrong.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It can't be
Calisthenics
wrong.
is good for your heart.
Yeah, which I was going to throw in circulation if it came around.
Oh,
Like, try to work it back into the blood thing.
Oh, that works out too. Well, thank you, Dr. Know-It-All, for all of your answers today.
I'll invoice you.
No, please.
You'll get a big doctor bill for your answers.
Yes,
If you have
all of you
insurance.
in the chat, we're going to get a bill. But, excuse me. But thank you, Dr. Know-It-All, and thank you, Casey,
Thank
for
you for
being
having
here.
me.
It's
Thank
been so
you.
much fun.
Thank you.
Yes, I loved having you.
Yes, come
being
back
here.
anytime you want. If you want to, we played lots of tabletop RPGs. So if you're ever interested in
So
playing some
fun,
games,
Yes.
come
I've
join
never
us.
played D&D. I wasn't allowed when I was younger, and now I regret it.
Yeah. No,
Well-
there's still time.
There's still time. We also play things that aren't D&D, so there's many more tabletop RPGs out there
I
for you
like
to play.
Jaipur. You ever played that one?
Jaipur? No, I have
It's a
not.
trading game. You're trading silks and spices
Oh.
and things.
Yes, I know Jaipur.
Yeah, I like
I've never
Jaipur.
played it though, but I hear it's a good game. Cucumber is more of the tabletop expert than the rest of us, but I'm sure he's going to be upset that he didn't get to talk to you about tabletop.
Aw, next
Should have
time.
been here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to work or something. Ugh.
And like I
Boo.
said, when my game comes out, we can play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. Let us know. We'll be in
Yeah,
contact.
it'll be a while. You know, these things take a lot of time, but yes.
Oh yes,
it'll
of
be very
course.
fun.
Speaking of which, go follow Casey so you can see all the updates for this stuff. Right down there. Eventually, it'll be in a second. It's gonna be there. It is. Yay! Follow at Casey Robin. Is that just Instagram or?
Yeah, Instagram, I'm at Casey Robin. That's where I'm most active. I post to Facebook from there, and then I have a Twitter, but I seldom use my Twitter.
Yeah.
So Instagram is my home base for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Instagram's
have
there.
CaseyRobin.com, just my general website.
General website. And that's all there on the Instagram as well. So follow her, support her. Great art, great person. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm hopefully you'll be able to come back again and come back and visit us anytime. Just let us know. But
Pleasure.
Thank you. So lovely having you.
yeah. And if anything you saw today is worth at least
least
$1,
$1.
take it away, Chuck.
You guys can join our Patreon where we have lots of cool rewards for supporting us. We appreciate all the things that you guys do. You could be a Patreon producer like M. Jason O'Dowd. You could be an associate producer like Indy Skeep, Jesse Glaspie, Liam Hoddlemeyer, Logan Gilbert, Mark, and Michi909. We have a tier starting at $1, and at the $15 level, you get a pin. The new pin is being designed as we speak, so that should be going out soonish. You know, because it takes a while to order pins from China. And then everything you guys donate and you guys used to support goes right back into the studio, so we can keep doing shows.
Yes.
That's really goal.
Yeah. Thank you so much for supporting us. We are going to raid somebody, so stick around and then join us. Do we have welcome party tomorrow?
Yes.
Welcome party tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Solemn's Legacy on Tuesday. I'll be there again with the Rookies of Rimtown. Wednesday night, Perception Check, and so many more things, including the Terce River Basin.
Yeah, come back later for Terce River Basin.
Yeah, tonight.
Come back later
for
today.
some more D&D with Steve.
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m. right here on Twitch. And who are we going to raid, Ryan? Trisha Hirschberger. Stick around, show Trisha some love, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.